Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to pad and sew a Princess Dart Bustier properly using the easiest method. In the previous tutorial, I taught how to draft this bustier, and if you're yet to watch the tutorial, I'll be dropping the link in the description box for you to go and check it out because it is so detailed, beginner friendly and very easy to understand. So if this is your first time here, please click on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post a new video. So I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric using the pattern that I drafted in my previous tutorial, and in this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to pad the bustier alone. So if you want to watch the previous tutorial, please check my previous video. So here I went ahead to add a sewn allowance of 0.5 inch on this part and also on the waistline, and I did same on the shoulder line. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start padding, and when padding I'm going to be using my wadding to pad, and here I have the medium size wadding. The wadding comes in three sizes. You have the soft, the medium and the thick one. So this is the medium one, and I'll be attaching it to my fabric alone because I'm using the medium. But if I'm using the soft wadding, you will need to attach it to your main fabric and to your lining. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to remove my pattern paper from my fabric like you see me doing in the video, so I can go ahead to start cutting my wadding. So now I'm going to go ahead to start cutting my wadding, and I'll be starting with the center panel, which is on fold. I'm going to go ahead to cut my wadding on fold also. So here I have my wadding and I'm going to be folding it over this way like you see me doing in the video. So when cutting for the center panel of the bustier, the wadding is going to be stopping at this point. So you place it this way. The wadding is going to be stopping at this point. So I'm going to go ahead to arrange the wadding so that it aligns with this point like you see me doing in the video. So I'm trying to arrange it and also to avoid wastage at the same time. So I want what I have on the folded area to be able to accommodate what I have on my fabric. So I'm going to go ahead to arrange it like you see me doing in the video. So here I have my fabric placed on the wadding. Make sure that the center of the wadding is the same as the center of the fabric. The next I'm going to go ahead to do is to secure it with my pins, and also I'm going to go ahead to measure 3 inches away from my half length line. That is where the wadding is going to be stopping. So I'm going to go ahead to measure 3 inches like you see me doing in the video. Then I'll place my pin at that point, after which I'll fold my fabric over like this because the wadding is going to be stopping where I just marked. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So after cutting, this is what it is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut for my side panel also. I'm going to go ahead to fold my wadding into two like this. Then I'll place the side panel on it because I'm cutting for the two side at the same time, so I'm cutting on fold. So I'll place it this way, then I'll place the side panel on this like you see me doing. Then I'm going to go ahead to cut it out. So I'm not cutting a full wadding for the side, I'm cutting a half wadding for the side. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to secure it with my office pin. After securing it with my pin, I'm going to go ahead to come up by 3 inches like I did for the center panel, after which I'll go ahead to cut it out like you see me doing in the video. So after cutting the wadding on the side, this is what we are going to be having, and this is what the center panel and the side panel is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach the wadding to my fabric like you see me doing in the video. So when attaching your wadding, you are going to be attaching it to the wrong face of your fabric. So this place here is the wrong face of my fabric. I'm going to be placing my wadding on it, and if you're familiar with the wadding, the part that has the shiny look is the part with the gum. So you place it on the wrong part of your fabric like this. Then you go over your ironing table to secure it with your pressing iron. Once you place your iron on it, it's going to be attached to it. So I'm going to go over my ironing table to quickly do that, then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So I'm going ahead to attach the wadding to my fabric, and this is what we are going to be having. So this is what it should look like after you are done attaching your wording to your fabric. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the center panel to the side panel. So I'm going to go ahead to place it this way, making sure the good face of the center panel is facing the good face of the side panel, after which I'm going to go ahead to stitch from the lower part down to the top, and I'll be doing the same thing for the other side also. So I'm going to go over my sewing machine now to show you how to do this. So now I'll be showing you how to join the center to the side panel. So when doing that, you place the side panel on the center panel this way, making sure the good face are facing each other. Then you start stitching from the lower part. You make sure that the lower parts are aligning, that is, they are aligning, and you go ahead to sew whatever sewing allowance you added to your bustier while drafting. And also while sewing the bustier, you make sure you follow the curve on the bust area to be able to retain the curves. So just watch what I'm doing and follow the same process. After doing the center to the side panel, this is what we are going to be having. As you can see, the curves on the bust area came out very well because I followed the curve on that part. So when sewing, you need to follow the shape on the side panel of your bustier. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to notch this curve part of the bustier. So after notching it, the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to give it a good press. And when ironing your bustier, you don't iron on a flat surface, because if you do that, there is a tendency that you might lose the curves on the bust area. So to iron your bustier, you will need your tailor's ham like this. All you need to do is to place your bustier on the tailor's ham, open up the seam, and give it a good press. So I'm going to go ahead to quickly do that, and I'll be doing the same thing for the lining also. Then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after ironing the bustier, this is what I have. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful, and I still retain the curves on the bust area. So when ironing your bustier, do not iron on a flat surface, because if you do that, there's a tendency that you might lose the curves on the bust area. So always iron using your tailor's ham. And if you don't know how to make a tailor's ham, please drop a comment so I can make a video on how to do that in the comment section. So remember, whatever you do on your fabric, you are doing on your lining also. So here I have the lining for the bustier. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to trim the armhole area. As you can see, we are having some lapses on the armhole area. And in doing that, what you'll be doing is to fold your bustier into two like you see me doing in the video, making sure that the shoulder area and the waistline area are aligning. Then you push in the curves like this. So I'm going to be trimming both the lining and my main fabric at the same time. I'm going to go ahead to do the same thing on my lining like you see me doing in the video. After folding in my lining like I did for my fabric, the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to place my lining underneath my fabric. Then I'll go ahead to secure it with my pins. After securing it with my pin, I'll go ahead to trim the armhole area. So just watch what I'm doing and follow the same process. So after trimming the armhole area, this is what you are going to be having. So I'm going to go ahead to open it up for you to see what it looks like. As you can see, we are having a perfect curve on the armhole area, so you don't need to struggle when fixing your sleeve. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach my lining to the fabric. So I'll place my lining on my fabric this way, after which I'll go over my sewing machine to finish up the neckline. Then I'll also go ahead to close up the sides of the bustier. So So after joining my lining to my main fabric, this is what it looks like, and this is what the inner part looked like. As you can see, it's looking so neat. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to finish up the dress I am making. So this is where this tutorial is going to be stopping. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial.